So now let us start with the terms which are associated with genetics. So the first thing we have to understand, or we have to know, what is genetics. So genetics is the branch of science that deals with the inheritance of characters and variations in characters. I repeat, it is the branch of science which deals with inheritance and variations of characters. Inheritance, I already said you, I just now said, inheritance is a process where the characters are transmitted from parents to their children. So now, what is variation? Now, variations are the minute changes which you can see in all the individuals of a single species. Say for example, no two siblings are alike. You look different from your sister or brother unless and until you are an identical twin. Similarly, I look different, my friends look different, my children look different, but at the same time we are all belonging to the same species, that is the Homo sapiens sapiens. So, what is actually making us different then? It is basically the shape of the nose, maybe the shape of your earlobe, the color of your eyes, the overall structure of your face, the color of your hair, the color of your skin. So these changes which are actually differentiating every individual separately from one another, those minute changes are actually called as variations. What are they called as? Variations. So genetics is a branch of science which deals with inheritance and variations of characters. I just hope it is clear, children. So now we use the term inheritance or heredity. So what is heredity? Heredity is the process which is involved in transmission of characters from parents to offsprings. So heredity is the process of transmission of characters from parents to offsprings. So these are two terms, that is genetics and heredity, which we have to be very clear about. And now we will come to what are these characters, how are they actually coming into our body from parents to offsprings, and that is when we are going to come to the term gene, right? So first we will understand where are these genes, how are they present in our body, and where they are located. So for this we just have to look back into the structure of a cell. So if you look at the structure of a cell, a typical eukaryotic cell, a cell has got a well-defined distinct nucleus. And we have seen inside the nucleus, there are many thread-like structures, and these thread-like structures were called as the chromatin or the chromatid threads. The chromatid structure or the chromatin threads. Now these threads, in class 11 cell division we have done, these threads, only when a cell is ready to divide, these threads condense and coil like this to form distinct egg-shaped structures called as chromosomes. These threads, they coil and become condensed structures called as chromosomes. So what is this chromatin material or this chromatin actually made up of? This chromatin is nothing but, this thread is nothing but, it is actually the DNA. This thread is nothing but, it is made up of DNA, and this DNA is made stable by a set of proteins called as histones. The set of proteins called as histones. The detailed structure of DNA we are going to study in the next chapter, that is molecular basis of inheritance. But right now, just to make you understand the concept of genes, I am just telling you a brief introduction as to what it is actually is. So you can just again, I will recapitulate what we are doing. A distinct nucleus inside which we have the chromatin threads, and these chromatin threads are basically nothing but they are made up of DNA and histone proteins, and these threads coil or condense to form distinct structures called as chromosomes during cell division. So whenever a cell is dividing, we know the genetic content of the parent cell is going into its daughter cells. We have seen in mitosis as well as in meiosis. So when these chromosomes are distributed between the daughter cells, that is when the characters are transmitted from one cell to another cell. Their characters are transmitted from one cell to another cell. So where are these characters located? Now these characters are basically located in small segments on the chromosomes, and these small segments are again nothing but the DNA or short fragments of DNA, and one such short fragment of DNA or a segment on the chromosome which is capable of expressing a character or which is capable of denoting a character is what is called as a gene. I hope it is clear, children. Again I repeat, a small fragment of DNA or a segment of DNA located on the chromosomes which is responsible for expression of a character. Say for example, the height of an individual or the color of eyes or the color of skin and so on. So any character which is being expressed is basically done by a small or short segment of DNA which is present on the chromosomes. Is it clear? And that short segment of DNA which is responsible for denoting or expressing a character is what is called as genes. And these genes are transmitted from the parents to offsprings by the process of cell division, and basically it is the gametes, the male gamete and the female gamete. We have learned how these gametogenesis or gametes occur, or what is the process of gametogenesis in the first chapter, reproduction. So your concept should be absolutely clear how the gametes are going or how the gametes are formed, the male gamete and the female gamete, and the fusion of the male and female gamete is finally what is going into the zygote or the offspring. So I just hope the concept of genes is absolutely clear. So once you have understood what is a gene, then we can further come down to what are the different forms of a gene and how can these forms be expressed. Can they be expressed individually or they are expressed only in pairs? So we'll continue this clip and carry it forward. Thank you, children.